Asta's final Devil King form with gravitation magic, and why Asta is an artificial human devil hybrid modified with Luciferos mana. This is the first of 5 parts of our video series we call The Real Evil in Black Clover. We talk about the true plot behind the scenes of the creation of Tree of Death and who the real mastermind is. This is part 1, Lucifero.
So without further ado, let's get this video started.
In the course of this video, we will explain everything to you in detail. A very interesting note is that if Asta will be able to use gravitation magic, which we will explain in this video, it will again be a similarity to Yuki Tabata's first manga, Hungry Joker, as the main character used gravitation power for the same reason as Asta could possibly use gravitation magic. But how can we explain the reason for this future form? For that we have to go back to Liebe and Lichita when Lucifero attacked both of them. Lucifero is a devil with 4 wings and 4 horns, and Asta has 4 horns. After Lucifero discovered that Liebe had reached the living world without having a contract with a human, he tried to take over Liebe's body. This comes from Lucifero's devil possession ability, in which he can take control of the bodies of low-ranking devils no matter where they are. Lucifero said he would use Liebe's body to look for a way to manifest his own body in the human world. But then Liebe's mother Lichita tries to stop Lucifero and begins to absorb his magic, so that Lucifero's left arm slammed right through her. Lichita refuses to give up and managed to force Lucifero out. Lucifero lost and promised to return as he can take over a low-ranking devil from anywhere. Lichita sees Liebe in the 5-leaf clover where Lucifero cannot reach him, so that he can become stronger and can one day protect himself from Lucifero. We don't know what happened to the grimoire after that, who put it behind the stones of the ceremony tower. We don't know how and why Asta was able to obtain this grimoire, since 5-leaf clover's grimoire belong only to the devils and can only be used by them. But then, a human who doesn't even seem to have magic happens to receive a 5-leaf clover grimoire that can only be used by the devils, and it happened outside of the actual grimoire ceremony. And not enough, that grimoire even have his foster brother sealed inside. Seems to have a little bit too many coincidences, right? Apart from the fact that it is impossible for a normal human to live without a life force connected to mana, the general belief has always been that Asta has no mana, and that his body is just a defect that makes his life possible even without mana. But we have seen several times what happens to people when their mana is drained, and Lichita gave Asta away because she was most likely a danger to him. So he has a life force that is most likely linked to mana. And Lucifero clearly stated that Lichita absorbed his magic, and since magic is created by mana, which is part of the life force is also absorbed. And life force, as the word says, is a force that keeps you alive. Just because Lichita believes that devils have no life force doesn't mean it is true, since devils usually have mana, and mana is part of life force, so devils must have life force. Lichita decided to give Asta away, so it had a reason. There must be an explanation why Asta receives the grimoire and why he has a mysterious devil horn that doesn't belong to Liebe. What if Asta is actually a devil hybrid and that's why he could receive the grimoire? Maybe after Lichita sees Liebe in the grimoire, Lichita wanted to make sure that someday someone would receive this grimoire so that Liebe could be set free again. And if possible, this person should be someone who reminds Liebe of Lichita, so that Liebe will not turn evil. And who is better suited for this than her own son? So Asta was originally born with mana, but later on his body was corrupted so that he can receive the 5-leaf clover grimoire. It seems that Asta was prepared by someone to receive this grimoire. Maybe he might have some kind of devil mana inside him that allows him to get such a 5-leaf clover grimoire. It would explain why Asta has Lucifero's horn. We know that Lichita absorbed Lucifero's magic. What if the magic that Lichita absorbed was somehow used to seal it in Asta? We know that Nacht used his shadow magic to observe Asta and the Black Bulls. But the interesting thing is that in his flashbacks and the way he explained his observation to Asta, we can conclude that Nacht has been watching Asta not only since he joined the Black Bulls, but since the moment Asta was a kid, long before he even got his grimoire. Now, there are 2 options for this behavior and both have something to do with Liebe. Option 1. Nacht is evil and works for Lucifero. This is the topic of the third part of our 5-part series. If you are interested in all 5 videos of this series, subscribe to our channel and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss any of the videos. Today we will not talk about the first option, but about the second, that Nacht is actually good, help Lichita to prepare Asta to receive the grimoire. This option is less likely in our opinion, but still possible and convenient for us to use in this video. This is because it still shows that Nacht was watching Asta for the same reason, as if he would be evil. The first thing that comes in mind is that Nacht's family is known for the devil rituals. Nacht had a very keen interest in Asta for some reason, maybe because he was spying for someone, or keeping his promise to someone to keep an eye on Asta.
We know that when Asta transforms into his devil form, Asta has Lucifero's horns for some unknown reasons. Either Lucifero possesses Asta with his ability to possess other devils of lower rank, which would mean that Asta is actually a devil hybrid, or because Lucifero possesses Liebe at this moment, and since he can only possess him when Asta uses his devil form, because at this moment Liebe is not completely sealed in the grimoire, but a part of Liebe is used by Asta, so that Lucifero could interfere with him at this particular moment. However, this would not explain why Asta was able to obtain a grimoire that can only be used by devil. Nor does it explain that every time he uses his devil form, that horn appears. I very much doubt that Lucifer is waiting all day for that moment that Asta transforms and he can check the situation. Also, this horn only appeared when Asta was able to use more devil power than he normally could. The first time was when he fought Zagreus and got his black divider. So, it has more to do with Asta himself rather than Lucifer. And this leads to the last option. Asta is a devil hybrid due to Lucifer's mana. And the extra horns are not because Lucifer spies on Asta and Liebe, but those are simply Asta's horn when he transforms into his devil race, because he has Lucifer's mana inside of him. If Yuno will have a 4-winged transformation, then the only way to maintain the equality in the character design between the main characters is that Asta also get a 4-winged form. And if you consider that his 2 other horns have something to do with Lucifero, who also has 4 horns and 4 wings himself, then there's a possibility that Asta can later transform into a form with Lucifero's mana, and this together with Liebe's unite form could lead to a 4-winged transformation. Knowing that Asta may have Lucifero's mana inside of him, which results in him having 4 horns, gives us the idea that Asta only has access to this potential source of mana when he is using his devil form. And it makes sense because if Asta is a devil hybrid and transforming into anti-magic form could cause his race to turn into a devil just like it does to other hybrids. We know that hybrids can only access their second race mana if they change their races, like Charmy when she transforms from human to dwarf. What if that the mana given to Asta to receive the grimoire is not only a visual manifestation caused by Lucifer's mana, but Asta is actually able to use Lucifer's magic when he learns to control the form properly. And about the argument many people have that Asta cannot have magic other than anti-magic, otherwise Liebe would have absorbed this other magic, is simply wrong, because it is a big misconception that Liebe can absorb mana. But it is the ability of the Demon Dweller's sword. Liebe can decide whether to cancel magic or not. Anti-magic is not something that Liebe uses uncontrollably, so that it can affect Asta without Liebe directly causing this cancellation effect. Liebe decides whether his anti-magic would cancel other magic or not, and that's why Asta would possibly use any kind of magic without Liebe disturbing it. Here is an example. Lucifero could possess Liebe Liebe without his mana getting cancelled. This means that during this time, Liebe did not know how to use his magic properly, so that he couldn't defend himself against any other magic. This means that just because anti-magic flows through his body, he can't just cancel any magic automatically without causing it to be cancelled in a controlled manner. Liebe had to develop this ability first using the anti-magic. He considered this ability to be useless and was always bullied by all the other devils. Only Lichita was able to save Liebe from Lucifero and the other devils and asked him to get stronger, while sealing Liebe inside the 5-leaf Clover Grimoire. And that's exactly what Liebe did. He discovered his skills and learned to cancel other magic. Liebe's ability to cancel magic is not an uncontrolled force that happens to affect everything around him or inside him. Otherwise, he could have cancelled Lucifero's magic to take over his body without any problem. With Asta and Liebe's new form, Asta no longer has to let the anti-magic flow through his body, but both of them literally merge into one person. So Asta can control the anti-magic when using the Unite form, just like Liebe. What if Asta's horn is not just a visualization of Lucifer's mana, but with the transformation into the devil form, Asta actually changes his race as a hybrid, and therefore could learn to control this race form to the fullest. Then Asta could use the magic that is connected to his devil hybrid side, which is Lucifer's gravity magic. And for those of you who have watched our video Black Clover and Hungry Joker similarities, know that Black Clover has adopted almost everything from Hungry Joker, from characters and their magic to the plot itself. And what if I tell you now that the main character in Hungry Joker is a kind of a devil hybrid that allows him to use an extreme form of gravitation that normal people most likely would not survive if they try to use it. And in Black Clover, Asta may be able to use gravitation magic because he could be a devil hybrid. Is this just a coincidence? Again?
I love my niggas to death. We ain't shit without our own boys. The only thing a nigga got left.